Specioza. Welcome to Big Conversations by Ordinary People podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think you're the third also Miss Uganda to be on the podcast. I think the podcast is becoming very popular for the beautiful people.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad to be part.
So first, tell us about Miss East. Is it Miss East?
Actually, I'm the current reigning Miss Africa Unite Uganda.
Oh, okay.
But I am a former. I wouldn't say former because a queen is always a queen.
True.
So I am Miss Tourism Eastern Region 2021 and also Miss Heritage Eastern 2021.
I see.
Yes.
So the other Miss who have been on, it has been my co-host doing them. So I'm not so sure what this means. What does being a Miss? What does winning these pageants? What does that mean?
Winning the pageant, it's a very big platform for, especially, it's the girls, who participate. So it's a very big platform for the girls. It gives them a platform to express who they are, to also put their voices out there because, a girl can have maybe a project they want to put out there and they do not have a voice. You get it? So these pageants help a lot of girls to, express their voices. And it's also a good platform for, exposure. If you're a queen, you definitely have to use your platform so aggressively.
Yeah, I see. So I want to talk about what you use your platform for. Yeah, but before that, there's a lot of criticism in the feminism movement around these pageants also being, first of all, a form to objectify women, but also this sort of rating system where now that you're Miss Africa, does that mean that you're more beautiful than most people's wives, right? So there's a lot of controversy around ranking beauty. I want to hear what your thoughts are on
with
that.
Pageant, they're not only going to look at beauty. It's, beauty with brains, confidently beautiful. You have to be very confident. Yeah, you have to also have a very good poise. It's not only going to be about beauty. They're going to consider a lot of things. Your intelligence matters. You get it? So it's not only about beauty.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about, for example, the pageant where you're currently holding the crown, right?
Yeah.
What else does that entail? I mean, obviously, you're very beautiful. So say that's out. What else do you need to win?
Miss Africa Unite.
Yeah.
It's a pageant that aims at promoting peace, unity, and fundamental relations among African countries. And culture inclusive, tourism culture inclusive. So it's the host country is Botswana. Actually, this is it's going to be its first edition. The grand finale will be in May on the 27th. So I will be going to Botswana to go and represent Uganda.
I see.
Yeah, but basically the pageant is about promoting peace, unity, and fundamental relations among African countries, tourism, culture inclusive.
I see.
Yeah.
Botswana is known for the kings. Is it the king has a ceremony every year where women come and
I think that's Swaziland.
Oh, that's Swaziland.
Yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
Swaziland.
Yeah, I'm confused. Okay, so now let's talk about so you're saying the platform is helping you express yourself, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that what are some of the things that it has helped you bring to light? What are some of the things that you're doing, some of the projects that you're pursuing as a person that this kind of platform and the Miss Tourism platform has helped you sort of bring to light?
Okay, in the Miss Tourism, there was a lot of opportunities. Like, you get to meet, important people. And, you shake shoulders.
Sure.
So the projects we worked on, there were several projects actually. There is a project we had of taking back kids to school, helping them with scholastic materials. So we did that project. It was in this place in the Western. It was Ibanda. Yeah. We actually went to about 5 schools, and we were concentrating on candidates P7 Senior 4 and Senior 6. So we helped them with scholastic materials, and it went successful. You know, a lot of people, a lot of sponsors came on board and supported us. And also there's a festival. It was a festival, Kalenjin Festival. It's for the people in Sebei region. I don't know if you know about them.
Yeah.
So it was a festival that brought them together. You know, the Kalenjin people are white also, you know, they're in Kenya and Uganda. So it brought them together, you know, that's culture. And then we had the Kadodi Festival. The Kadodi Festival, obviously, we did it here in Kampala. Yeah, Amamugiso. But then we did it here in Kampala. Reason is to, you know, export tourism. You know, these other people, you know, different tribes have to experience. We had to bring it here for them to experience and know how our culture is. So those are the projects I was part of as, you know, Miss Tourism. But there were a lot of tourism projects that I did. I may not remember all, but there were a lot. Yeah, they gave me a very big exposure because, you know, right now everyone knows, you know, Spacey, you're a queen.
True.
Yeah, so it's a very big opportunity for me to have been part of, you know, the Miss Tourism family.
I see. And
then for Miss Tourism, for Miss Africa Unite, currently I'm running a project. Actually, I'm a brand ambassador for a teenage mothers foundation. It's located in Boyogere. It supports teenage mothers and also girls who have pregnancies at teenage age. So I'm part of it, and my project actually is around that. So we've done about 2 reach outs, like helping these teenage mothers and, you know, teenage girls with pregnancies. So the project also went successful.
I see. Are you a mother?
You cannot be a queen and be
really?
a mother. Yeah, you're supposed not to be a mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. Is that like a restriction? If you've ever given birth, you cannot.
It's not a restriction, but it's a requirement. Yeah, but okay. If you look at it in your perspective, if you're a mother, would you really go and contest?
Sorry, you make me understand this. So first of all, you've said that there is no objectification, right? So it's a respectful endeavor, right? Why would it not be suitable for mothers?
Okay, you know, when they're choosing a queen, they really want someone who is going to work, someone who is focused. And if you look at a mother, you know, when you have a child, your mind is going to be at your child. You know, we usually have boot camps, and these boot camps go for about a month. You know, you're in boot camp, you're not seeing your child. You know, you're not going to be focused. You get it? All your mind is going to be, how is my kid doing? Has my kid eaten? So you see, you're diverted. Your mind is not in one place.
I see.
Yeah, so it's not a restriction, but it's a kind, I don't know how to put it, for mothers not to participate. Because they want people focused.
I mean, I know many jobs have issues, but that doesn't mean that mothers shouldn't do jobs. Many
but
jobs
actually, there are pageants that accept mothers to participate. Even married.
Okay.
Yeah, but for Miss Tourism, for Miss Uganda, for Miss Africa Unite, no mothers.
No, I see. Okay. Let's talk about the boot camp. I'm wondering what's this? What entails in these boot camps that requires you to? Because if you're staying, if you can't qualify because you're mother and you have to stay for a month away from your child, that means even you have to stay away from your friends and your relatives perhaps for a month when doing this boot camp. What is this boot camp about?
Okay, boot camp is when you contest, okay, the first thing is auditions. You get it? You audition, you want to be a miss. You get it? So you go through the auditions. After being successful, obviously there is going to be a boot camp. So a boot camp is like
let's start with auditions. So auditions is what? It's part of what we do here is also making movies, right? And here auditions we give
like
actresses,
casting.
casting. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, actually, okay, they may put out a requirement. They say we want girls who are not mothers, who are about 18 years to 27 years, and maybe a certain height requirement. And there may be several requirements. So that's like a casting call. So when you appear physically, I think that will be an audition. You come, you present yourself, you walk. They want to see you walking because they're going to look at that. A queen has to, have a nice walk. You have to walk nicely. You have to present yourself nicely. So that's what they want to see. Like they want to see you physically. What can you do? How do you look? You get it? So that's part of the audition. So they pick you, and you will definitely be in boot camp. But then there is for Miss Tourism, obviously they get the several regions. So they get like 3 queens. Actually, it's 3 queens from every region. So they're going to choose like the queen, the first runner-up, and the second runner-up. So those queens will go and present their region at Miss Tourism, let's say Uganda. You get it? So they're going to we have about 12 regions actually in the whole of Uganda. So those queens are going to compete. So in this competition, they're competing for 1 crown. They're going to get 1 queen. Obviously, there will be a first runner-up and a second runner-up. But then for boot camp, when they get these queens, they've scouted. It's like scouting, actually. It's like audition. Actually, it's like scouting. So they're going to get these girls, bring them together. So this boot camp, there are going to be several activities. There is going to be training, obviously. They want to train you of what they want you to be. And obviously, make friends. They want you to
network,
to be open, socialize, things like that. And also, like, you're going to do a lot of activities, like present your projects, like they polish you. Like, it's like polishing before, that D-Day. You get it? You're going to do several activities, presenting your projects. They polish you, your talent. They're going to look out for a lot of things. In boot camp, there is also, sports. So like you wake up, you run, like there is fitness. So they're going to look for a sports queen. For talent, you're going to present your talent. They're going to look for a talent queen. They're going, actually in boot camp also, they look at how you carry yourself, how you treat people. That's, there is a search for personality. You have the best personality. There is also a search for congeniality. That's being nice. So they're looking at those things amongst the girls in boot camp. So they look at several things that they will consider on the D-Day, on the grand finale. So that's what boot camp is all about.
I see. Okay. So the point of the boot camp, if I understand this correctly, right? So the idea is you audition, you're interested, they put out a call for casting.
Yes.
We are looking for Miss Tourism East. You go and audition.
Yes.
And then you get into a boot camp. And sort of from my knowledge of boot camps, this probably say that you guys are isolated in, say, a hotel or resort. You stay there for a month.
Yeah.
And during this period, it's sort of personality training and a lot of, So what is the end goal? The end goal is to...
The end goal is to obviously get that...
the queen.
That miraculous girl, who is going to represent. You get it, the queen.
Who's going to represent the pageant, basically, I see.
No, who is going to come out of all those girls, like who is going to be the main queen. You get it?
I see, okay.
Yeah.
So, let me also ask, were you a model before? Are you a model now? Will you be a model after?
Yeah, actually, I'm a model. I've done several runways. I'm an actress. I've done a few films. Yeah. So it's basically I'm an aspiring and confident actress. Like I know I will be a better person. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
A big person, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I see. So yeah, the reason I asked is what you're describing seems to me like what modeling agencies would do, right? If you identify pretty looking women, put them into training, teach them how to walk, teach them how to dress, teach them how to present themselves, and then basically sell them out to like advertisers or like filmmakers or the other companies that sort of consume that. Is this similar? Do they say people who don't win the pageant? Do they end up getting represented by? Is this an opportunity also to find an agency, for example? You think?
Actually, every girl who goes out, to compete, and maybe you reach somewhere in the competition, you're already a winner. Actually, if you go to contest for Miss, let's say Miss Uganda, like Miss Tourism, whatever pageant, you're already a winner because, you already believe in yourself. You've already been chosen. You get it? You've gone through the auditions. You've been chosen. So that means you're capable of being, a queen. But then when that D-Day comes, you get it? There's several people out there, like in the audience, that are looking at these contestants, There is a tour company that may be interested in a certain contestant. There could be a modeling agency that is interested in a certain. Actually, the girls who have worked with Joram from Miss Tourism, Miss Uganda, I think so, but Miss Tourism, I'm sure there's some girls. So it's an opportunity, like I said, exposure.
Yeah.
Someone may be out there looking for, even if you do not win the crown, but at least someone is looking for a particular, qualities,
Yeah.
Even if you've not been the queen, you've not, you've not been crowned, but there is someone out here who has been looking at you, because you have, those special qualities. Tour companies may say, I want that girl to be my ambassador. So that's an opportunity. Yeah. So it's I wouldn't say modeling, but like I said, it's a platform for the girls to express who they are, for the girls to work, to work on their projects, to put their projects into place, and also work with fellow queens to put those projects into place.
I see. So and the reason I brought up the modeling thing is my reservation again around modeling is first of all, what I've read is it seems like a very stressful thing to do, right? A lot of models starve themselves to keep the figures. A lot of them spend a lot of money on beauty products. Some of them spend even more than they make on beauty products. It's so again, they're obviously good things. They get to travel mostly for free. They get to meet really great people. And if you have like a passionate project, this opens up the opportunities. But it seems like there's a huge chunk of personal sacrifice that comes with that. Have you experienced the same?
Obviously, I think in every career, there's going to be sacrifice. Sometimes in the start, you're not going to look at, money, but, experience. You get it. The first time I walked on a runway, I did it for free. You get it. The first time I acted, it wasn't much. I was given something, but it wasn't much. I didn't care so much, but I wanted to first work on my, skills, and experience, what this, industry is all about, the acting and the modeling industry. But then there is sacrificing. And then, these companies you're going to work for are not going to pay you anything. So that is the most depressing thing about, the industry. And mostly here in Uganda, there is more exploitation. There is more exploitation of models, actors,
true.
But obviously a person will do those sacrifices. Obviously you would want to look good. You would want to stay in shape. You get it. But then here in Uganda, you're going to do that, you're spending money and yet you're not gaining. You cannot, okay, there is spending in the first place because you want to get experience and skills, but then the people you're working with are not appreciating you. So that's why you see, these girls are going to walk fashion shows out there, or, even our actors and actresses, obviously. It has to be like a big production company that you really have to sell a mistake under this, because like I think I've done like auditions and like I'm tired of auditions here in Uganda. You get it? But then you still keep pushing because you never know. You still keep pushing.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but it's all about, perseverance, consistency, but then you shouldn't let, yourself be used or, exploited.
Yeah, I also want to actually talk about that. So this is a very sexualized industry, right? They're choosing the women who look the prettiest. Usually the women who look the prettiest are the most sexually attractive women, right? Most of people who run these pageants are men. Yeah. So obviously this conflict has to happen where this guy sees this very pretty woman, but he has to decide the future of this pretty woman, and there is an option of exploiting the woman sexually, maybe so they can give them the opportunity. How often does that happen? And also, are there safeguards? Are there like within the pageants or within the agencies, are there places where you can report, where you can sort of expect some sort of defense without retaliation?
Such things I think can never miss in the entertainment industry. But also it depends on you as a person. You get it? Men will always be men. You get it?
True.
So you should have a yes or no in your mouth. You get it? These things are happening definitely. Even in, the big people we look at, like Hollywood, these things still happen. You get it? So it's upon you as a person, to know who you are, to know your stand, but they're happening.
I see. So, are there places where, say, because sometimes it's a very big decision, right? It's not a very it's not a yes or no thing. Sometimes it's not a black and white decision, right? So it sometimes, for sure, and this happens everywhere. It's not just modeling, right? So, for example, you can be chasing a career in politics, and this guy who can open the door for you, who can give you like maybe a PS position in a ministry where you can set off and launch yourself, wants to exploit you sexually, right? So that happens everywhere. Yeah. So in this scenario, what makes like this industry slightly riskier is all the girls are pretty, right? Right? So it's
no woman is ugly.
Yeah, well, no woman is ugly, but these are exceptionally pretty girls that usually get into these pageants, right? So it's like it's also a place that's easy for people people who can't control their appetites. For example, it's a place for them to set their traps, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in this case, in where I work, in my day job, there's some sort of HR, there's some sort of anonymous thing where I can report, if where I can be reported. In this case, since I'm a man, usually usually the men are the ones who are the perpetrators, right? Who attack the women, basically, right? But the woman has the option to report, even anonymously, or, there are systems that are put in place to safeguard the woman from this kind of exploitation. And I'm wondering, within these pageants or within within your field of work, are there such systems?
I think there is. In the acting industry, I'm not very sure, but I know the authorities that protect, actors, actresses. Then in the Miss Tourism, obviously it's the Miss Tourism or, Miss Africa Unite Uganda that is going to, protect you like in any way. You get it? But still,
true.
Still, we have to go back to, corruption. You may go report someone who is, big, and there is nothing that will be done. So it's you as a person, like I said, to have a yes or no. Actually, you can have red flags, about something. There can be red flags. You say, this guy, is good to work with, this guy is bad to work with, unless maybe there is some, forcing you. Obviously, you'll have to go to police.
True.
It's the only savior. But then, I don't know about any organizations, or maybe I haven't researched well.
I see.
I don't know about Uganda, about any organization,
I see.
authorities in Uganda.
I see. And when it comes to, so it's slightly sensitive, when it comes to rape, is it, do you think there is sort of high cases of rape within the industry? Or is it, these are crimes that happen everywhere. Do you think compared to maybe working anywhere else, working within the beauty industry, you stand a high risk of situations like that?
There are no high risks, obviously. There are no high risks, but there is still going to be,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so it goes back to you as a person, obviously. Someone will come out and talk about, that experience, after so many years, you say, I'm here where I am, but, the journey was not easy. There is a guy who exploited me, he had to, and yet the big people, this guy had to, offer me this and this before, he makes me famous. So they did not force this person. You get it? They accepted, but they didn't accept because, it's something they really, wanted, exactly. But because they wanted, a platform. You get it? So it's upon you as a person, because it's not only done to, girls or women.
Yeah, I think legally, though, in a situation, say someone who holds power over you, say in a family situation, relatives like uncles or whatever, those things happen. But in a workplace, people like your boss, your employer, things like that, in a kind of sexual advance, right? Or rather, in a kind of sexual behavior. If one of the parties at some point decides that I wasn't fully consented to this behavior, the person who held power when that happened is usually to blame. And I think legally, you also have like an option to sue your boss in situations like that. I don't know, is there any kind of sensitization within this industry around stuff like that, for example?
Obviously, there is. There is sensitization. And, obviously, the entertainment industry, you as a person, before you get into it, obviously you
know what you're going up to.
You know what you're going to get, you know what you're going for. So you need to just be aggressive, radical,
I see.
Focused.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're all these things.
Yeah, there's been challenges, there has been challenges, you go for an audition, the production company already has the actors, and it'd be just wasting your time, and these are their people, they're connected somehow, or maybe a girl has come up, can you do this for me before I give you, a role in this movie? Such things happen.
I see. Yeah, wow. So this is the next is going to be one of the tough ones, and then you're going to go to the fun stuff for the podcast, right? So the other one is the sexual revolution right now, right? The internet has made the world accessible, right? One of the platforms today is OnlyFans. I don't know if you're familiar with OnlyFans, right? This is where young girls can go instead of, say, for example, most of the people who work in the beauty industry sometimes end up becoming escorts. So this is kind of no one talks about it, but we know. So not like people who in the pageants, for example, right? So a good chunk of people who say want to be models, this is what being a model really means. You get invited to parties to just be like feelers, to look pretty in parties. You're vixens in videos, festivals, for example, if there are like, say, I don't know if Nyege Nyege does that, but most of the big music festivals and big music concerts, they hire very pretty girls, usually from an agency. So they have like agencies that supply these kind of girls to create the vibe, right? So they look very nice in pictures, they look very nice in videos. They sort of create FOMO. If you're not at a festival and you look at the festival and you see almost every girl in there looking pretty, you'll be like, oh my God, I have to go next year, right? And that is part of, so it's part of why they invest a lot in hiring these agencies to supply these women, right? But also that comes with sometimes at some point, if you go say to a private party, if there's a big party, say in, I know some happen in Uganda, but let's say outside, right? A big Hollywood party, for example, and you've been brought in by an agency. I know actually in like Harvard, for example, when they're doing their, I don't know, some of the like dormitory parties, they hire agencies to bring like very pretty women, right? Part of that requires you to be sexually open, to some extent, right? It's sort of like expected that if you're so hard up, you're going to be boring and people won't like you. You probably won't get more gigs in the future, so on and so forth, right? So that has been happening for a while, right? It's exploitative, but it has been happening. But what's happening today with the sexual revolution, what the internet has brought is now you can create an OnlyFans account, say if you're sexually expressive. Also, there are women who just enjoy this, right? So it's not like a one-sided exploitation. You can create your own account and put your body there. So I know I've read of many people whose accounts, they just show their feet, for example, and they have like a $10 subscription per person and they have like 1 million subscribers. So they make like 10 million almost every month for just like showing their feet on their webcam, right? How much is this within like Ugandan context, within like the beauty industry context?
For beauty pageants, it's creating ambassadors, not models. Ambassadors.
I see. Okay.
When you talk about tourism, you're talking about
representing your brand.
Yeah. You're representing the brand and you're representing Miss Tourism or tourism in general as a brand ambassador. You get it? If you look at Miss Uganda, you're representing Uganda as a country. But then, like I said, it depends on you as a person. You're given a platform. You're given a crown. How are you going to use it? Are you going to be that kind of a person, or you are going to carry yourself as a queen? You get it? Things happen. You may not know someone.
Yeah.
They may get tempted.
Yeah.
You get it? And they find themselves in such a way. But then, it's upon you as a person. You carry yourself as a queen. You are a brand ambassador. You're not being exploited for. Yeah, actually, there's some pageants, actually, like international pageants, that I heard about a story. There was a pageant where someone went and represented Uganda. But then when they reached there, they were asking them to be like, prostitutes. You get it? And then like she was kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So she had to call back home, for someone to help her out. So that they're not, obviously they're going to be, sheep and wolves. The people who are going to be on the right path, there are people who are going to be on their own path. But then you as a person who wants to contest still, you have to do researches about, these pageants. What do they do? What are they about? You just don't go into pageants because you want to be a miss. You get it?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so it's a brand ambassador that you are going to be, not.
Yeah, so let's talk about your life outside the pageant, right? So what is your day-to-day activity? It's like, today you're at the podcast. What were you doing yesterday?
First of all, I'm a big introvert.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so when I just go out, it's like a big sacrifice. Yeah, but I'm mostly an introvert. I just do movies, be on Netflix, watch reality shows. Yeah, but I used to work with a real estate company. It was good. It was good, but right now I am not working, but I'm learning something about something.
I see.
Okay, I'm doing a course to help me in a field that I'm aspiring for.
I see.
Yeah.
So part of the things you talked about is acting. So I thought maybe.
Acting. There is I look out for that too.
roles, yeah.
There is a casting that was posted, and then obviously I applied. So I'm waiting for confirmation.
I see.
Yeah, but still I look out for opportunities. Yeah.
I see. So part part of what we do here, for example, right, is original content. So we're doing some short films. We are also investing ourselves in some big films. We've not yet done a full feature film by ourselves, but we do invest ourselves there. We do a lot of music videos. But again, part of the biggest part of where we think we are going to get an edge besides podcasting is original content, right? So usually when we bring prominent people, if we bring Mr. Tourism, part of what we pitch to them is if you have original content ideas, right? Because we have very good equipment, we have a very big crew. These are things we are open to partnering with people to do, right? And yeah, obviously I talked a lot with Edgar about you before the podcast. But yeah, part of like what I'm curious about is whether you have things like that, ideas of original content. Today, TikTok is like the best thing for it's like the best time wasting thing.
TikTok is crazy. I don't know if it favors some people or not, but I've been on TikTok for 2 years, since 2020, the lockdown, but I've not even made 1,000 subscribers, followers.
Are you posting enough content?
Anyway, I do not, but it's disappointing. Or maybe I'm not a content creator, but then I want to, it's something I want to be, like I said, I want to be, big in the acting industry. So like another thing I want to do is like I want to be able to, do my own movies. Yeah, because I have scripts too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're looking around for sponsors to support me, like help me put out my movies, like, yeah.
And what genre of movies are you writing in?
I don't know. I think I need like I need to know more about, movies. Yeah, because it's something that it's a passion, but I do not know much. Yeah, right. But then at least I have something.
Yeah.
You get it? But then I want to know, I want to learn more.
Yeah, no, part of what we do, by the way, is that so maybe we can talk after the podcast.
Yeah.
But part of what we do is usually when we meet, so when we go outside to gigs and so on and so forth, and meet like content creators or meet like people who want to experiment creatively. Most people, they have like an idea. We know like people we work with who are photographers who don't like do weddings, who don't, whose like photography doesn't fall into any box, right? They just, when they have a camera, they can take a picture, say, of that light.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it looks so good. Like I would have taken the same picture, but mine wouldn't have looked as good, right? And they just don't know how to categorize their work.
Yeah.
So usually we invite them and tell them, we have the equipment and we have the time. Come and experiment with us. We'll post on our platforms. If we figure it out while we work, if we figure out how to make money from it, because again, the goal, obviously, since this is a business, the goal is to make money in the future, eventually. Yeah. If we figure out how to make money from the stuff we do, then we can productize it. We can make it into a product that we sell, right? So that's a big part of what this is, right? So that's like the same thing, for you. I imagine like it would be nice. Like this conversation we are having, I feel like you're slightly holding back, but it would be nice, for example, for you to have your own podcast and talk about this industry, right?
Actually, I do YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I do YouTube, but still, like I said,
it's a patience game.
Like no, like actually, I was even monetized and then demonetized because of not being so active.
I see. Yeah, true.
So, but I have 1,200 subscribers. Yeah, so I'm still on the journey of, being monetized. Yeah, but I used to do reaction videos. Yeah. Okay, like I wanted to, the first videos I did was about, short skits. But then it was only, using my phone, just in the house, So it was not strong. It was not giving me views. And I wanted to build the YouTube channel so fast. So there's a person who gave me an idea to do reaction videos. So in a month, not even a month, 3 weeks, I was already having the subscribers and the watch hours. I was already monetized. But then after being monetized, I got lazy
True. So I guess that's part of like working with a team. Then you have like other people who can push you. So that's I think a big part of like some of the guys we partner with to do original content. Sometimes the writer could be lazy, be like, guys don't have anything. But then the guys were like editing, the guy was to shoot, the guys who have to act, they all sort of have to hold him accountable. They're like, okay, so what are we going to do? Are we not going to do anything? The rest of us, because you're lazy. And usually working in a team sort of motivates you to...
No, I think I am this kind of a person who really needs to be pushed, like, pinch me. But I have ideas, like ready to work, but then I'm a bad writer. Like, I have a problem with concentration, writing, even reading. But then I master things so fast. It's just a special ability. But then I think I just need like a team to work with, like people to, write, people to, I give them the ideas, then they just write it. Because actually the 2 movies I have, like on script, it was my ideas, then they wrote
for you. I see. And these scripts are they like fully structured screenplays?
One is like a feature.
Okay. Like, is it like the right structure of the screenplay?
Yeah, it's already written.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Already.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's something we can look into, seeing if it's something we can produce. Okay, so this is your passion, basically. No, definitely. Definitely. So, what about those other projects that you're doing, right? Other projects that need media, for example, things that you do, like, the work you're doing for the teenage mothers, for example. Yeah,
there is, but that only depends on when we have, an outreach. Yeah, but for now, we do not have any outreach. Yeah, but then under Miss Tourism, there is now an ongoing, I wouldn't say ongoing, but there is, how should I put it? We are looking for new queens.
Yeah, for the tourism.
Miss Tourism, new queens, 2023 to 2024. So auditions are going, like they're running on social media platforms. So for Miss Tourism Eastern, I think we can work out something. We can work out something because, the girls will be in boot camp, like I said. Sorry, there will be auditioning. There is going to be boot camp, then the grand finale. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. I mean, that sounds extremely interesting. Yeah.
So right now the ongoing auditions around Uganda, like different regions. Eastern, Eastern, Karamoja, Teso, Ankole, Renzori, Kigezi, Buganda, North, West Nile. I think that's it. Yeah.
These things, by the way, one thing that I know about like pageants, if I would model, the reason I would be tempted to try that would be traveling, right? How much traveling has this opened up for you? The
traveling has been so much, and as a person who loves tourism and traveling, like it was the best experience because there is a lot of traveling.
What is the favorite place you've been?
Bwindi, Impenetrable National Park.
I see. Okay.
It was the best experience. You see gorillas on TV, and you may say, these are ugly animals. But when you reach there, at Bwindi and you look at these gorillas like one-on-one, there is an overwhelming spirit. You get it. And you feel like crying. You get it. It's, nature is beautiful.
I see.
Beautiful animals.
Yeah. And I've seen the gorillas, so that means I've been to Bwindi and forgotten, but I know I've gone for that. I didn't like it personally. I didn't like the walking.
Walking? Then why did you go there? Didn't you know it was part of the activities?
So I knew, but I think someone like advertised it like it would be fun, and then I just got so tired instead.
No, for you, you just, I don't know, you just wanted to fly.
Okay, so that's the thing is what, Ugandans are not a big target of tourism, right? Okay, some go nowadays, but most are like me. I would be willing to tour if maybe there was like some sort of car that I can drive and touch the gorillas and come back and be drunk the whole time, right? So it's the big part of like trekking, a big part of like what's offered. It's attractive to most foreigners, especially white people, because of, isn't it? It is.
No. For you, just lazy. Maybe you just didn't want to walk. But that is part of the experience. Even if you fall down in the mud, that's part of experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as fun as drinking beer in the bar, right? It's okay. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing you do, right? I've done the gorilla thing. I've done the gorilla trekking. So now I tell people I've done it. But yeah, it was a lot of work. It's not something I enjoyed doing away from work. Like you get a few days off work, and it felt like I was spending them working, right? Because of the trekking. Maybe
you would have gone to a national park.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was trying to say. How do you like, for example, you as the ambassador for tourism, do you suggest to like whoever runs these things, I don't know, about how they can improve the experience for tourists? Because I mean, yeah, we disagree about what the experience should be, right? I like to see the gorillas. I think they're fun things to look at. I don't want to walk that long to see them, right? I'm not a fit person. I'm not interested in that. I just want to see the gorillas, right? But there are people obviously who want that experience, right? Yeah. The question though is, can there be something that can be done? I'm willing to spend slightly more, so I enjoy the experience while I'm drunk. Is there something that can be done to do that, to facilitate something like that?
First of all, you should know that some of these places are habitats for these animals. They're not going to bring this animal out for you
to see, exactly.
To just see, You have to go, look for it. It's Erimmakagayo, it's at their home. You get it. So you have to walk, through the forest. And if you look at Bwindi, it's not an open place. It's a forest, like impenetrable, you understand?
Yeah.
It's a big forest, impenetrable, like so thick. So obviously you have to walk through. Yes, if they put up like an advert, there is a trip to Bwindi. You get it? They will obviously mention. That's why it's very important, like to mention the activities on the posters. There is gorilla trekking. Someone knows. I'm going to walk. There is bird watching. So it helps. Like when you're putting out a poster, when you're advertising, obviously you have to let the people know what activities they're going to do. Because you may tell someone, we're going to Bwindi. They do not know they're going to walk so much. You get it? So it's the promotion that matters. Okay. You have to let people know what they're going to experience, what they should expect. Like someone should know. So when you went to Bwindi, did you expect you were going to walk?
I did. I didn't know it was going to be as tough as it was. Yeah, that's so I did.
But did you know like the square kilometers of Bwindi?
No, so I mean, I'm sure that was communicated. It's just that no one pays attention to that stuff.
So it's your fault. It's your fault.
So,
like,
okay.
Tourism is tourism.
All right. So what are the other things that people do in Uganda, for example, besides like national parks, besides seeing animals? What kind of other avenues for tourism are there?
There is, in the eastern part where I come from, yes, we have wildlife, but it's, the eastern part is covered so much with the aspect of, heritage and culture, whereas in the west, it's covered with wildlife, a lot of national parks in the western part. So in the eastern part, what we are doing mostly is, putting culture out there. If someone is coming from, outside, the Europe countries or the US, some of these people already have these animals. You get it? But, culture is unique.
Yeah.
We have about 56 tribes in Uganda, but every tribe has their culture. You get it? So if someone is coming from maybe UK, and let's say they know there is a carnival, there is a festival that is upcoming, they're coming to experience like something so new. You get it? But for animals, they know these are leopards, these are lions, these. Anyway, maybe the location may look different.
Yeah.
You get it, all the sceneries. That would be maybe the only difference. But they already know these are animals. But for a tribe, for culture is unique. And, culture, identifies people like the different tribes, like the Bagisi, we are known for circumcision, Kadodi. The Karamojas are known for being aggressive, and, the Manyatas, the way of living also.
And walking around naked.
Yeah, if you go to Ankole, it's they have their culture. Like every tribe has their culture. So we are trying so much, like, to put culture out there.
Culture tourism.
Yeah, culture. And this thing brings, people together. Everyone will know, this is their culture, and, respect. People have respect for each other. Yes. Yeah, so we're pushing culture.
So
culture.
So for example, for like the Bagisu, I understand. Usually the Kadodi ceremony is there on a specific period, and it's very it's a spectacle, right? You can see the running, you can see the dancing, you can see it's very easy to enjoy it, right? In say Karamoja, how do I experience that culture? Like, say me, I'm a Uganda, right? If I wanted to go to Karamoja, what I see on the news is people starving, right? I don't want to live here and look at people starving. How do I experience the Karamojan culture?
I think you will visit the Manyatas. You know the Manyatas?
No, I've just heard of them.
Yeah. There is I've forgotten the name of the village, but it's like the largest village, like comprised of the Manyatas. So the Manyatas are these small huts. So let's say you have a family, your wife and your dad, your mother, your granddad. There is going to be like those small huts, like your dad, then it's covered, like it's surrounded. You get it? Yeah. And then another family.
Homestead, okay, I see.
But then it's under one big homestead.
The whole extended families there.
Yeah, so it's like they have those small ones, but then there is the big one. I've forgotten its name. So it's also like tourism. But then when you go to obviously Karamoja, that will be an experience. Visiting those Manyatas, and they'll dress you the way they dress, obviously.
Oh, so you'll get like a tour guide and move with them and then explain to them. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's an experience. Like, that's their way of living. And actually, the Karamojans are one of the people who have preserved their cultures, and also the Bagisu.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so Karamojong, that's how you do it, right? In, say, Gulu, what's that to see in Gulu?
In Gulu, I'm not very conversant.
Okay.
But they also have their culture. They have their dance. I don't know how it's called, but it's actually very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Yeah.
I see. So, okay. So, then I'm just imagining as a tourist, right? The way you would package like a cultural tourism. So you'd encourage people, say, to come to Mbale during the Kadodi season, right? Karamoja, anytime you go, the Manyatas are there, so you always see the Manyatas. Gulu, I don't see the reason. I mean, I can go to
they have the tour. Uganda is so big. Have you been to the north?
Yeah, my wife is from
the north, and you haven't seen anything.
I mean, I've gone to Gulu town, and it's.
I'm sure they have tourism attractions. I'm sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to understand.
And the culture, but like I said, there's some preserved cultures, like the Karamojans and the Bagisu, that like they've preserved their culture so much, so much.
Yeah.
I don't know about any other tribe.
I see. So okay, let me give you an example, right? So when you go to say France, right? They have that thing, the Eiffel Tower, right? And they make a lot of advertisement around it and become the tourist thing. So you go to France, and the whole goal of going to Paris is to take a picture at that tower.
City.
Yeah. But besides that, the experience also. So when you say you go to like a winery. The guy who's serving you wine will give you this whole history of French wine, and if you're interested in stuff like that. Then if you go to like a nice restaurant, they'll overcharge you, and then part of the price will be to tell you stories about the origin of the food, right? If you go to say New York, they have the Empire State, so you go up on top of the Empire State and look at the whole city, and it's what their tourism is. I think if you go to like San Francisco, they have the prison where El Capone was, so they give you a tour of the prison. I've actually been there. It's an audio experience as well, so you walk through the prison with headsets on. This guy is telling you, okay, this was they have like actors within voice acting within the headsets. So when you go to like El Capone's cell, they can dramatize like what was happening, whatever, and then you come back, and it's if you're a tourist, this is easier to market. They tell you if you're coming to San Francisco, this is what you'll see. Like how to brand it. This is the experience. We'll go here for San Francisco is so diverse. There's not like an American culture thing there, but say France, right? If you go to Europe, they'll be like, we'll first try the French wine. We'll go and try some whatever Frenchies or whatever. If you're interested in they've been sometimes I know in Denmark you can go and see like some Danish movies, some very weird movies, right? And it's part of their culture. And then they say the last part of the day of your tour, you'll go to the Eiffel Tower. And the Eiffel Tower is also interesting because everyone there is a tourist, right? So you meet people who have the same malo as you. But I understand how this experience can be in Mbale, for example, right? If you're inviting me to Mbale, I've been to Mbale. I've not been there in the Kadodi season, but I've been there many times. But if you're inviting me to Mbale or, to the eastern region around the Elgon area to tell me, okay, if you come during the Kadodi season, this is what you should expect, right? We'll start from, say, on Tuesday, the Kadodi run will start from here. Maybe if we are staying in this hotel, we'll join them from here. We can run with them. People who are interested in running, blah, blah, blah. This is the climax. This is the nature of the dance. And then maybe you shall try some malewa, things like that. That is a good experience as a tourist that I would maybe save a weekend to do. The Manyata thing, for example, I think that makes sense as well, right? Tell me, I will go and visit this homestead. We shall eat at this homestead, and then you eat some Karamoja food. I don't know how they call it. And then maybe you watch some people dancing, or you do some activities that make sense. But now, like in the West, okay, apart from Bwindi, right? If you're going for gorilla trekking, what do you do there, right? In Buganda as well, I think, I don't know how the museum in the Lubiri is now, but part of like visiting Buganda was the museum, right? You'd go
even
to
the Kabaka's lake.
Yeah, exactly. You go, and the tombs as well. The tombs, I think, got there, but part of that was that, and then you just they download all the history on you and so on. I think the same with Bunyoro. But one thing, okay, what I'm getting to is the tourism experience, I feel like in Uganda is slightly limited, right? And I forget to joke that most of what we have as tourism attractions are like the God-given things, the gorillas, and we are not building our own attractions, the things I've explained in the places that have been the West. All those are like man-made. Eiffel Tower is built by a person. Empire State is built by a person. That Alcatraz, the prison in San Francisco, is also built by a person, right? These things are man-made. Those guys have gorillas. They don't have gorillas, but they have like lions. They have some wild parks, but it's not a big focus for them as the man-made things that they've done. And in the middle of town, so the Empire State is like the middle of New York. The Eiffel Tower is also like the middle of Paris, right? So what are people in tourism here doing to make that experience, sort of to broaden our experience beyond just the natural stuff that God gave us?
Right now, the Ministry of Tourism, I think, is trying so hard. I think it's also partnering with other ministries. If you look at the Ginger Bridge, that is tourism. The bridge.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's tourism. So I think it's a step-by-step, thing. But I think they're also looking at that because, yes, these are the several forms of tourism. Like you said, they took you to a prison. That's dark tourism. If we come to Uganda and talk about dark tourism, there is, the story of, the chambers where they said Amin used to take to kill
SRB,
people.
yeah.
That's dark tourism. But then it's also us, the ambassadors,
well,
to look into that direction and promote more of that. And there is also promoting road, like transport. I would say transport tourism, because any kind of exciting thing is tourism, like something that catches your eye can be tourism.
First, explain the transport bit to me. How would that work?
Okay, for transport bits, if you look at, there are some people who just go on road trips, like they're not going into parks, but they're just going to experience the roads. You get it? And if you start from Kampala and you go along, along Ginger, you're going to be mesmerized by, the Ginger Bridge. I don't know what interesting thing we have there. But then again, if you look at every city, like when you're entering into every city, there is something beautiful that welcomes you, like something that has been constructed. You get it? Like if you enter Mbale, you're going to see like a tower. Yes, the clock tower. But then on top, there is what? There is coffee. Mbale is also known for producing the best coffee, Arabica coffee. If you go to like Mbarara, there is a cow. Yeah. Like that's development. I would say tourism still. Yes. If you go to Fort Portal, there is a lion. I don't know if it's a lion, but something. So we also have to look and also promote more of that. But for transport, I think it's improving. Even hotel tourism. Like some of our hotels are also being awarded for being the best hospitable hotels. So hotels is also part of tourism. Yes, So it's something that we have to actually look into and, decide maybe with the Ministry of Tourism that, okay, let's now look into this direction and then we can promote it. But then still, we do not have a lot of things about, constructions and, development things to promote, like as a form of tourism. So that's also maybe the challenge. We do not have them. But for dark tourism, there is some bit of history. For transport, we are trying. Hotel, yes, we are somewhere. So it's all about promotion and then...
I see. So your role as the ambassador, right? What does this entail? Does it entail just moving around with tour companies and just enjoying your life? What does this entail exactly? For tourism. For tourism, yeah. As a Miss Tourism, obviously, there is the Miss Tourism organization, obviously. If you say... Is this run by the government? Who owns that organization? Which one? The Miss Tourism? Yeah. The Miss Tourism is a private entity, but still under the Ministry of Tourism. Oh, wow, you get it? Okay, they partner, they work together. You get it? For now, what I know, I think it's a private. Okay. Yeah, sure. But then working with the Ministry of Tourism. So if you as a queen present your proposal, it can be a proposal you say, I want us to promote this kind of tourism. You get it? You present it to, or you present it to the Miss Tourism organization. And like it's catchy. Also your proposal has to be catchy. And then they can present it to the Ministry of Tourism. There is this... among the contestants, I don't know of which year, but there is a girl who came up with an idea of promoting the Rolex Festival. It was a very good proposal. Obviously, it went up to Ministry of Tourism. They had to support it. So it's a proposal that you present, people like it, and then they support. Yeah, but still the Ministry of Tourism, I know, is looking into different kinds of tourism to promote. Uganda, we are still developing, so we shall get there. Sure. Okay, yeah. I see. Okay, I think that makes sense. I think the last part we'll talk about is festivals. Do you do festivals? I think maybe cultural festivals. Okay. I think the only festival I've been at is about culture. Okay. You've not been to Nyege Nyege? No. It doesn't appeal to you? No. I see. Okay. Yeah, when you said
It doesn't.
You said you're very introverted. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that makes... But, okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up is, again, in Uganda, compared to anything else, it's these festivals now that are bringing in the most foreign people, right?
Yeah.
And so, because recently there was, I think there were suggestions around blocking Nyege Nyege in parliament. And I found this to be odd that this is even considered, because again, the more you open up the country, so most people come to party, right? Maybe 99% of the people come to party, but there's going to be that one person who will realize, oh, there's actually a business opportunity here. Right? Be a guy who came to drink alcohol, say maybe from South Africa, and then he notices, these guys do this way, but I could do it better. Right? And then he comes and sets up a business. And that is sort of the point of, that's why even the West, that's why they encourage a lot of tourism.
Yeah.
It's to make their places attractive. Say, look at the US, for example, right? The US is a destination for almost all intelligent people, the smart people. So if you're from China and you're smart, usually your dream is, when will I ever migrate to the US, right? In Africa, the same thing. If you're smart, your dream is, when will I be lucky enough to score a job in the US, I can migrate to the US. And the US has intentionally positioned itself that way, right? Through tourism. In Uganda, I think people know Uganda for the chaos. So most people who live in Uganda, they just like disorder. Uganda seems like, have you been to Kigali?
No.
Okay. So if you go to Kigali, you'll appreciate how disorderly Uganda is. There is a lot of everything in Kigali is in the right position. In Uganda, everything is chaotic. Yeah. So that's, I think most people who find this attractive is people who generally just don't like to be told what to do. People who I think I'm one of them. People who relate disorder to freedom. Yeah. That's what sort of when you're in Kigali, you'd feel like you're being pushed. Yeah, but everything is neat. So in Kigali, you want something, you know where to find it. The roads are all well done. Everyone is following the traffic rules, including border guys. Yeah, but it didn't feel comfortable, right? But here in Uganda, you're almost always about to knock a border guy or get knocked by one. When it rains, everything floods, things like that. But maybe because I live here. But there's a sense of, I can do whatever I want here, right? So that's the difference. But my point again is, how do we position like the country? Right? How do we encourage? How do we first of all encourage the things that we're now working, right? Things like the festivals that we know are already bringing in like foreign eyes, people who can again. Usually when it's your home, it's hard to tell that something is off, right? So if say like here, for example, it's hard for us to tell that something is off, right? But if you get a visitor who comes and says, this paint looks odd, right? That new pair of eyes usually can show you that something needs improvement. And that is what tourism usually does. It's you get people, they can write blogs about your country and say, yeah, this is odd. And then people step up, people step up. Yeah, I'm wondering, why is there, again, including you, I'm very surprised that you don't go to festivals. Why is there that big hesitation around things like this? If you know, I'm not putting you on the spot.
Maybe I didn't understand the question.
So the question is, there is hesitation, right? Say, for example, Nyege Nyege. A lot of people don't like it. Again, most people are using immorality, quote unquote, that people are going to be moral, as if they've just never been to Bandali Street, right? People are using immorality unknown. But why is that hesitation there? I think it's the same thing right now, the new bill that has come out, the anti-gay bill. There is someone who feels like Uganda's morality needs to be protected by politicians for some reason, right? And it doesn't matter who's wrong or right, right? But most of what this does is create this form of exclusionary culture, right? When people want to come, say, to party in Nyege Nyege, say from Kenya or from South Africa, and then they hear that maybe some MPs don't want it. And again, we have a record of tear gassing people. People will be like, I don't want to risk being tear gassed, right? Things like that just sort of locks up the country more than it does, than what is good for the country, yeah. And the question is, why do you think that is? Why do people just basically want to preserve?
As Ugandans, it's you coming from a specific family, there is a way you are brought up. You get it?
Yeah.
So as Ugandans, we are a little bit conservative in certain things. There's certain things we are going to embrace, there's certain things we are not going to embrace. So it also depends, like, what is this festival promoting? You get it? It may come as it's promoting something, and yet underneath there is something it's trying to push out. So I think maybe that's why people got a little bit hesitant. You get it? But it wouldn't have been a bad festival because, like, you know, there is some culture, some sort of tourism, community-based tourism. The locals are benefiting. You get it? True. They're benefiting from this. So that's one importance, like major importance for these festivals. Like the locals are going to benefit from whatever kind of thing that is put there to attract, like, tourism. The tourists, sorry. The locals are going to benefit. But like I said, we Ugandans, we are conservative. We are trying to, you know, learn some things. But there's some things we cannot embrace. And the majority, like 99%, we are still very conservative. And maybe the 1%, they think they're enlightened. You get it? But then they cannot influence the rest. You get it? But still, it went ahead because obviously the main goal was promoting tourism. But then I think it improved than the last time. I think there were no chaos, there were no things that happened last time.
That's for me, like, where my hesitation is. So, Nyege Nyege gets wild, right?
Yeah.
But go to Chisementi, any day of the week, yeah? The wildness in Nyege Nyege is the same, right? Go to the majority of Kampala nightlife is basically what Nyege Nyege represents. It's what most people come to Uganda to, because if you've been to Rwanda, for example, in Rwanda the people drink a lot, but the vibe is not the Kampala vibe. Yeah, it's Kampala nightlife is Kampala in East Africa. It is up there, right?
No, I think for Nyege Nyege it was trying. Why it got some backlash? I think it was trying to put out some agenda. You get it? Like I said, for us, we're a little bit conservative. We're going to look at something and not embrace it somehow. Yes, we do not attack people, but then it was trying to push out a certain agenda. And when I looked at it this time, like, I think it was organized because it was told to improve. It was told to improve on certain things, you know, from the previous festival.
I see. Okay. So maybe...
Yeah, so it's when we talk about, you know, Nyege Nyege and Chisementi, it's like different.
I mean, that's the thing is I don't see a difference at all.
No, like, maybe you do not understand, but like I said, there was an agenda that was trying to put, like they were trying to maybe promote it. You get it? But then Chisementi, it's something else. Like, you know, it's people are, you know, buying things, riding around. So it's just different. This is people dancing and like the certain things that people are trying to bring out. Like people are coming with their weird cultures. You get it? So we have to still, you know, freak out. Like what are these people trying to portray? Like what are they trying to bring to us? So obviously we have to kind of freak out to see if we embrace it or not. So I think that was the backlash Nyege Nyege got, but I don't see any other festivals getting any backlash.
What other festivals are there?
There is Empako for the Batoro.
Okay.
There
does it attract an international audience?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know, if there is better marketing, advertising. There is the Bakhiga Nation. Then we're trying to push Kadodi.
Okay. To make it a full festival.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then there is also a festival in Mbale. It's called the Elgon Festival. It brings like different cultures together in the different Elgon region cultures, like the Basebei, the Itesots, the Karamoja, like people in the eastern mostly together, even people from Kenya, like people occupying the Elgon region. It brings them together.
No, I didn't know about those other festivals. That's a odd thing. I mean, I know Bakhiga Nation, but Bakhiga Nation seems like a very urban,
I actually haven't been there. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, maybe there's so many festivals. But yeah,
But there
again,
is room for improvement,
I see,
If it's like trying to act urban, I don't know, maybe they should improve because this is culture. This is culture. Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, that's also the other thing though, right? Culture is fine, but the most important thing is fun, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, when
Kadodi is a vibe.
yeah,
Obviously.
it is. But you have to be able to attract people who have seen Kadodi before, right?
Yeah.
Kadodi is a vibe if it's your first time experiencing it, right? But to the way it keeps working, most of the guys are drunk, most of the guys are dancing, most of the guys are happy. You have to keep that going, right? If again it becomes so conservative, it becomes if it starts to focus a lot on making the culture respectful, you start to push away, especially the young ones. They feel like
Not
this is not for them.
respectful,
Yeah.
but we're trying to export, trying to make people have an experience of our culture. You get it? Yeah. It's like experience, even if it's your first time or your second time, at least I've seen like white people who came at Kadodi Festival, like they were just like vibing.
I see. All right. Yeah, no, thank you, Specioza. Thank you very much for making the time to come to the podcast. Yeah, I wonder if there's anything you wanted me to talk about that I haven't.
I think I'm okay.
All right. Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
a
for
lot
having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad.
I'm happy to have this conversation with you, and maybe like after this we can talk a lot more about how we can work together